He's called a slumlord by his tenants, and tonight, yet another Hamilton County judge is telling Lanny Holbrook to do the right thing. Jay Warren is live in the newsroom now with new information about today's court hearing for the owner of Heritage Management. Jay?
Well, Carol, residents in the Compton Hills mobile home park in Colerain Township have received water and electrical shutoff notices for years, with Lanny Holbrook's company behind in its payments to Duke for roughly $27,000. Today, a judge appointed a receiver to force him to pay his bills.
Why these properties are...
This was Lanny Holbrook earlier this week with not much to say for our cameras. Today, in front of Judge Steve Martin, it was a different story.
Because of the recession. And it's difficult for certain properties to generate enough income to pay these bills.
And you can also understand where that was a great argument to make when this case first started, but this is the second or third time you've made that argument.
Within the week, Holbrook came up with $41,000 to get Compton Hills a little closer to being paid up with Duke Energy. Holbrook grew uncomfortable, though, when the judge asked him where he came up with such a large sum of money if his company isn't taking in enough every month.
We would contribute the extra money from our personal accounts and our other, personal accounts contribution to capital. In other words, if there's too many expenses in 1 month, we have to make that up.
Holbrook asked the judge if he could work out a plan with the tenants to avoid receivership, but after discussing it with them, the answer was a flat no. And with that, the judge appointed a receiver to make sure Holbrook pays his utility bills for Compton Hills, though he stopped short of directing the receiver to actually collect the rent.
I personally wanted the judge to go a little bit further and give the rent to the receiver. That way we know the bills will be paid in a timely fashion, and that the residents don't have to worry about shut-off notices.
He's been collecting a lot of money, and the money certainly hasn't been going to pay for the bills of the mobile home park or to make any improvements to the mobile home park. So he's taking the money and doing something with it. What that is, we don't know.
Now, just because Lanny Holbrook and Heritage Management are allowed to keep collecting the rent doesn't mean he's off the hook. The receiver will report to the court every month to let Judge Stevens know whether Holbrook is paying his bills. And if Holbrook fails to do so, then the receiver will start collecting the rent. Carol?
All right, thanks a lot, Jay.